What's up, everybody? Derek G here, WrecklessRacer806, and in this video, I'm gonna explain my point of view of the world, my worldview, I guess you would call it. You know, because everybody's really, it really is a giant waste of energy to bitch and moan and complain about game loft or any game, or really just complain about anything. It's one thing to get something off your chest to relieve stress and anxiety and all that shit, because you can't just hold everything in either. That's unhealthy. So I make my little, you know, whatever they are, 8, 9, 10-minute rant videos, and I'm on my way. I don't harp on the shit all fucking day. Like, people seem to think that I'm stomping around my entire life in a tizzy over Game Loft. We're here. Let me explain something to you. Game Loft is just another corporation. They make a product. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Okay, you could call them Ass Loft or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Call them Company A. You know, and they make product A, and we use product A, and the only point that they have by making product A is to make profit. We call that a bottom line. You know, they have to make a bottom line worth of money in order to put out product A. And that's any company. Any company has to do that. So they're just a company. They don't give a shit about the, quote, we call ourselves users, right? User. Think of that term for a minute. User. They're calling you a user when they're really using you to make their bottom line. So you're not a user, you're a customer, you know? And that's it. A customer. We're all just customers. They don't, if they can't get the money from us, they'll get it from the next Joe Schmo down the line. Yeah, that's how all business works. It's just business. And so to complain about how they run their fucking business, about, you know, their stupid glitches and all their overpriced nonsense and all that, it is really a waste of energy. I get that, you know. But again, on the other hand, I can't just sit and hold it in and not let it out, because that's unhealthy for me. So I let it out, and I'm not scared to let everybody hear what I have to say, like straight from the horse's mouth like this. I'm not afraid of the internet like that. Granted, I'm not on video right now. You know, there's no need for me to make videos. Like, I could sit and you could see my face if you wanted to. You could go to my Mr. D Jeezy channel, which, you know, is not a gamer channel. It's a channel where I talk about all kinds of other things. I put everything out there. I have how-to videos for all kinds of different programs. I'm a creator. I create stuff. So if you use a lot of editing programs, then you might find something you like on my on that channel over there. But I also vent about everything, you know, all kinds of videos about competition is disease, and there's a whole video about that. That video's been shared on, it's re-uploaded all over the place. People like what I have to say about competition, because if your heart competes with your brain, you die. If your lungs compete with your liver, you die. You know, there's very few rare cases where there's healthy competition. And where there is healthy competition, it doesn't involve anybody else but yourself. Like throwing a dart at a board and hitting the bullseye. That's competition between you and the physics of reality and nobody else. And that's healthy for you. Just like a racing game. It's the physics of your reality that you want to master. And that's healthy competition. Now, this is not going to be an Asphalt 8 ranting video, so I'm not going to get all involved on how suck-ass everybody is in multiplayer over there, because that would, you know, defeat the purpose of this video. But the way everybody drives in multiplayer, for example, in Asphalt 8, ruins multiplayer. No one actually tries to drive. Everybody treats it like it's a carnival ride, you know, and they just say, oh, well, it's an arcade racer and that's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. It doesn't have to be that way. And only people with that shitty attitude make it that way. You know, other people are out here trying to actually drive the fastest line as possible. And we got bobbers and weavers trying to knock people down all the time. And, you know, again, I'm getting off track here. That's not the point. The point is on this WrecklessRacer806 channel, this is just the pastime channel. It doesn't matter. Okay? I don't really talk about anything important over here. I'm not talking world issues or astrotheology or sociopolitics or anything relevant to the real world, really. This is a virtual world. It's a racing channel for video games. It's a virtual world over here, you know, so I don't take it all seriously at all, none of it. It may sound like I'm serious because what happens is I live in the now, and I record myself in the now. So when Gameloft fucked me the other day on the 23rd or whatever with that update, I hit record right after they fucked me, and I vented right then and there in the frustration of it happening, right in the now of it happening, and to capture the whole issue, the whole thing, the whole emotional stress that they put on millions of people. They got millions of users, right? And that's just how I operate. As soon as something clicks, I go and I do it. When something clicks, it says, yo, put this out there. I just put it out there. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's about 9/11 or Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or politics or the Middle East or fucking Islam or Christianity or whatever. Pick a topic. There isn't a topic that I don't address on all my other channels. This channel is for video games. Yeah, it's for video games. That's it. I'm not trying to make it all serious or anything, because video games, really, I've been thinking about it. For the past 20 years, they've become much more mainstream, much more popular. There's many more games over the past 25 years where the rebel crime rate has simply vanished amongst teenagers because they're not out with nothing to do. When I grew up in the 80s, there was nothing to do. Kids who grew up in the 70s, we had to go to the arcade to play a video game. You had to, I've said this before in other videos, you had to get on your bike and you had to ride a couple miles with a bunch of quarters in your pocket just to go play a video game. And that takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy and all that. You can't just get up and play your fucking video game. It's different. So these kids these days, they're handed these little touchscreen phones when they're, 5 years old, 6 years old, and they learn to play all these games. So they don't even think about going outside and causing trouble or breaking any laws or hopping any fences or doing anything to, that type of nature. When I grew up, it was no trespassing. It meant hop the fence. It meant what's in there. What's in there? Let's go see what's in there. It says keep out. And, even the Eastern mystic gurus talk about how prohibition is invitation. So it's a very deep philosophical, spiritual issue that I'm talking about here. And I'm just not throwing something out there on a whim, because prohibition is invitation. Like even in Bugs Bunny cartoons, they say, you can't have the cookies, and they put them way up on the top shelf, and of course you got to get up, the baby got to get up there to get the cookies, right? It's taught to us right there. It's just taught to us. Prohibition is invitation. No means yes, or don't means do. Don't go here, so you go there. It's totally predictive programming in a sociological behavioral science, man. This is behavioral science. So it's got nothing to do with video games. I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about the way video games have affected reality. But anyway, if you're interested in more things like that are outside the box, you can go check out my other channels. The Mr. DGZ channel's got a lot of my rants and raves on there. The Feed the Fire Films channel and the DJ Hardcore Truth channel have more of production type little seeds, dropping little truth bombs, clips from familiar media, make you think, get your mind working. No real beginning or no real end to anything. No one message. I kind of don't work that way. I just kind of share ideas and throw a bunch of similar ideas from, sporadic places that span decades of media, and slam it all together and take it for what it is. That's kind of how it works. You know, it's all done in the now. Like I said, everything's done. Like I feel like doing it, I do it. I gather a whole shitload of media and I slam things together in a day and bang and put it out. So if you're into that stuff, then, you know, you want to check it out, go right ahead. That's what I mean. There's a lot more places you could put your energy than into bitching about Gameloft on fucking YouTube comments all day. I appreciate everybody checking out my video, because that one video got a shitload of views, and that's cool. You know, that a whole bunch of people heard what I said and agree with me, and I'm glad I got to vent for them. I'm sure it's a relief to hear someone validate how you feel. You know what I mean? Everybody feels that way. As soon as you hear something that you totally resonate with, you get a relief, like you're not the only one. And you know, that's part of the other reason why I'm not afraid to say it for you. I've been a rebel like that my whole life. I've been in trouble my whole life. That's what I mean. I used to go out and get in trouble. I've been arrested a whole shitload of times. I landed my ass in fucking jail after high school. There's a whole history there where how I was brought up was completely different from, you know, the majority of the way people have been brought up over the past 25 years. Since CDs and the digital world has entered this world, everything has changed. When everything was still analog, and you had to get on your bicycle and ride to the arcade, and yeah, then you could play your digital video game. But there was a whole analog process in the middle that surrounded the whole issue. Just to go play the game, you needed money, for one, right there. Right back to Gameloft. They're in it for the money. Everybody's in it for the money. It's the money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Puffy said it, and that's when it started. That's when the industry really had a whole grasp on the entire world view, and they can manipulate each country's world view through the media. There was so much media. It was saturated with information. We've been bombarded with information. Yeah. And it's all propaganda by corporations who are trying to, you know, make sure they make their bottom line. It's all about the bottom line. It doesn't matter what you think, as long as you're buying their shit. Yeah. As long as you're buying their shit, as long as you think that they care about you, then you know, they're happy. That's all that matters to them. We don't matter, and they don't care. But anyway, enough of this. I just wanted to put that out there, that, you know, this channel is really just a pastime channel where I dump some videos if I bother to record them. But, you know, I don't take any of it seriously, really. So I'm not all caught up in Asphalt 8 or Real Racing 3, or I'm really not caught up in this stuff, dude. You know, I'm just not. I don't check the forums. I checked out McLaren P1 Boy's stuff because he's everywhere. You know, on the stuff that I've looked at, he seems to know and has been around, and he's like the asphalt expert, if you ask me. All right, so, you know, props to McLaren P1 for having a shitload of information about the game. You know, because he does. Yeah, he does. There's no way you can refute the info that he has. Yeah. And I haven't found anything that I disagree with, really, either. You know. And when it comes to the pros and cons about asphalt, I thought about making a list, but, you know, the list of cons would totally outweigh the list of pros, and it would just make the game look like shit anyway. You know what I mean? It really would. There's so many more cons than there are pros for that game that it's not even worth it. I've got like fucking 3 things on my pro list and like 15 things on the con list. It's like, why bother? So I did this video instead. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'll catch you all later. Check my other channels if you want. Don't check them. I don't care. It doesn't, you know, I don't make any money off of doing any of this. I just share ideas. So, I'll catch you all later, man.